Hello and welcome once again to Quest, the weekly Kashmir University Video Digest. The highlights of this week's program are: 7-day workshop on children's safety commences. Iqbal Day observed at Kashmir University. EMMRC holds orientation program in Kupwara. And Allama Iqbal Library holds library committee meeting. Now the details of these events with your host Nisha Zargar. Department of Geography and Regional Development, in collaboration with SARC, Disaster Management Center, held a 7-day training workshop on children's safety. The training program's main focus was on children with special needs in South Asia. The inaugural function was held in the Gandhi Bhavan Auditorium. Coordinator of the program, Professor T.A. Kant, presented the inaugural address.
If there's a disaster in one SARC country, the impacts are felt throughout the region, and sometimes all the countries bear the consequences. The South Asia tsunami of the Indian Ocean on 26th of December in 2004 is a living example. Since children constitute one of the most vulnerable sections of our society, children with special needs are all the more vulnerable. So we need to think and devise strategies and policies for their safety and well-being.
Mr. Ray Kancharia of Save the Children, in his address, said that SDMA has taken it upon itself as a challenge to sensitize specially abled children about disaster management.
SDMC has taken a challenge to address the needs of children, especially of those who are differently abled. Their vulnerability due to various disasters must be addressed in a more institutionalized manner, and SDMC, with all its partners, take this pledge to work tirelessly with all the member states very closely in the region.
Member National Disaster Management Authority, Dr. Muzaffar Raina, informed audience that children often become victims of disasters.
Children typically represent 50 to 60% of disaster victims, which means they are disproportionately affected by disaster risk. Children's right to food, shelter, education and protection are compromised during such situations. Schools are often used as temporary shelters, depriving children of learning spaces. Children suffer in all phases of disaster and are the most invisible, especially in most disaster recovery and rehabilitation processes, except when they are orphaned. Children are faced with serious consequences of living with disabilities in the event of a physical injury during disasters such as earthquakes.
Vice Chairman NDMA, Mr. M. Shashidhar Reddy, while lauding Kashmir University for starting a program in disaster management, told participants that such training workshops are important for the development of capacity building.
All those who have come from Kashmir, from different parts of the country, and from the SARC countries will go back with some experience. But very often we find that this type of training programs do not carry forward and lead to dissemination of knowledge in a manner that can enhance our disaster management capabilities. I do not know what kind of composition the present participants really present us. How many of you would go back and be able to contribute to this in your own countries, in your own states, or those who are attending in Kashmir from within Kashmir itself. Training and capacity building are extremely important.
Mr. Reddy said that the key to survival during earthquakes, floods and cyclones lies in effective preparedness, and all members of SAARC nations have to pool in their efforts and resources to come up with a multi-pronged strategy to tackle such disasters. Vice Chancellor, University of Kashmir, while appreciating the speech of Mr. Reddy, informed the participants that university has been actively involved in disaster management.
This university has been actively involved in studies of earthquake and also climate change. Now, the very important aspect that we will be discussing maybe during this course of 1 week is the climate change and how climate change is going to affect the areas and how much we are prepared in terms of the disasters that may happen in this area or any part of the world. What we concluded is that it's very difficult for any of us to stop disasters like earthquake, but we have to prepare ourselves.
Head Department of Geography and Regional Development, Professor Muhammad Sultan Butt, proposed the vote of thanks.
At the outset, we would like to put on record our profound and sincere gratitude and appreciation to the authorities of SAARC Disaster Management Center, New Delhi, for having graciously agreed to host and sponsor this important training program in the University of Kashmir. We hope to organize such training programs of vital importance in the future as well, with the continued support from SDMC.
To commemorate the birthday of Allama Iqbal, a day-long seminar was held by the Iqbal Institute of Culture and Philosophy. The seminar was organized in the auditorium of Humanities Block. Head Iqbal Institute, Professor Taskeen Fazili, presented the inaugural remarks.
है कि इकबाल ने ज़ुलिसान शायर की हैसियत से फारसी और उर्दू दोनों ज़ुबानों में एक वक़ी सरमाया छोड़ा है। ताहम अगर इकबाल को उर्दू से ज़्यादा फारसी का शायर करार दिया जाए तो गलत न होगा, क्योंकि उनके कलाम का 2/3 से ज़्यादा हिस्सा फारसी पर मुश्तमिल है। असरार खुदी, रमूज़ बेखुदी, पयाम मशरिक़, ज़बूर आजम, जावेद नामा और अरमुगान हिजाज से इसका सबूत फराहम होता है। इसमें कोई शुबा नहीं कि इकबाल ने अपनी शायरी का आगाज़ उर्दू से किया और उर्दू में उनके 4 मजमूए कलाम हैं: बांगे दरा, बाले जिब्रील, ज़रब कलीम और अरमुगान हिजाज।
Professor Sharif Hussain Qasimi congratulated the center for upholding the long tradition of organizing seminar on the Iqbal Day.
इकबाल से जो हमारा ताल्लुक है, मेरा मतलब पूरे बर्र सगीर का है, वो अटूट है। महज हम सेमिनार करके उनकी याद नहीं मनाते। यकीन जानिए, जो फारसी और उर्दू जानते हैं, वो मुश्किल औकात में आज भी इकबाल से मदद चाहते रहते हैं, घबरा जाते हैं, उनके अशार पढ़ते हैं, खुश होते हैं, तब भी उनके अशार उन्हें याद आते हैं।
Professor M.S. Niyazmand said that Iqbal was an authority over Urdu and Persian languages.
चुनांचे दोनों ज़बानों में उनके फिक्री और हुनरी शाहकार मौजूद हैं। अलबत्ता जिन खास फिक्र अंगेज़ ख्यालात व नज़रियात को वो इजहार करना चाहते थे, उनके इजहार बयान के लिए उन्होंने उर्दू पर फ़ारसी ज़बान को फ़ौक़ियत दी। यह फ़ारसी ज़बान का एजाज़ है कि अल्लामा ने अपने रूहानी वारदात और जज्बात को पेश करने के लिए इसी शीरीन और सुरीली ज़बान को अपने इजहार का ज़रिया बनाया और इस तरह से उन असरार और रमूज़ की गिरह कुशाई की जिनका इजहार फ़ारसी के गरां कदर सूफ़ी शुरा सनाई, अतार, रूमी, सैदी, हाफिज वगैरह जैसे शुरा ने अपनी शेरी तख्लीक़ात में किया है।
Professor G.R. Malik in his address told the participants that Ghalib and Iqbal are two gifts of subcontinent to the world of literature.
बर्र सगीर के ये दो तोहफे थे गालिब और इकबाल। दोनों की शायरी का करीब करीब 2/3 हिस्सा फारसी में तख्लीक किया गया है और मेयार, क्वालिटी, वक़्त और तहदारी के एतबार से इस शायरी का मुआसिर शायरी में कोई मुकाबला नहीं। ये बात इस अमर के बावजूद मुसल्लम है कि सबकी हिंदी को फारसी की टकसाली मेन स्ट्रीम रिवायत में अक्सर ऊंची नजर से नहीं देखा गया है। गालिब को अपने गुफ्ताए फारसी पर इस कदर नाज था कि वो इसके मुकाबले में अपने उर्दू दीवान को फीका समझते थे। फारसी बें ताबिबीनी नक्शाए रंग रंग बिगुज़र अज़ मजमुए उर्दू की बेरंगे मनस्त। इकबाल ने बज़ाहिर दो वजूह की बिना पर उर्दू के साथ फारसी को भी अपने इजहार का जरिया बनाया।
Professor Margu Banhali presided over the function.
मशरिक में शायद ही इस तनाजुर में, खास तनाजुर में जो उनके तालीमात का तनाजुर है, हमें नज़र में नहीं आता है और जिसमें इतनी क्वालिटियाँ बैक वक्त, इतनी खूबियाँ बैक वक्त जमा हो गई हों, तो उस नाते से मैं समझता हूँ कि हमें रूमी शनास बनाने में इकबाल का जो हाथ है, उस नाते से मसनवे मौलाना रूमी की तरफ भी मुतवज्जा होना चाहिए।
Continuing with its efforts to orient teachers towards e-resources, Educational Multimedia Research Center held a day-long orientation program at Kupwara Degree College. The orientation course was held in the conference hall of the college. Coordinator of the program and the EMMRC faculty, Mr. Tariq Abdullah, conducted the proceedings of the function and presented the inaugural remarks.
The CC with its 22 media centers is now entrusted with the running of 24/7 Vyas Higher Education DTH channel and generating the e-contents for the courses taught at undergraduate level on the basis of syllabus approved by UGC. Friends, use of ICT can break down some of the barriers that lead to underachievement. However, when one looks around in most of the colleges and universities across India and in our state also, lack of harnessing of this potential is visible. Diffusion of ICT in Indian universities and colleges would respond to the 21st century demands.
Research scientist Dr. Salima Jan explained participants that the aim of orientation program is to develop capacity for proper use of ICT.
Our aim is to build capacity, and when I say capacity building, I mean to say that we want to sensitize our teachers. How can they contribute in making a reliable content for our students? As you all know, this time there is huge material available on internet. But what is the question of reliability is always a concern. So with the support of the teachers, we can really make a very good, reliable, good quality content for our students. And this way you can strengthen our arms at EMMRC, as well as you can become a major player in making National Mission for Education through ICT a success.
Director EMMRC, Dr. Shahid Rasool, told faculty and students present in the conference hall that despite having 600 universities and over 32,000 colleges, the gross enrollment ratio in India is still around 18%.
जब हम देखते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान का जो हायर एजुकेशन का सिस्टम है, इट्स टू ह्यूज. आज के दिन में इंडिया हैज ओवर 600 यूनिवर्सिटीज एंड क्लोज टू 32,000 colleges which are enrolling around 14 million students. And we have in today's date over 500,000. That means 5 लाख से ऊपर ही हमारे पास टीचर्स हैं. और as per MHRD, in today's date, we have the dearth of 3 lakh teachers. Our gross enrollment ratio is 18%. These are official figures as per MHRD. In developed countries, it is 54.6%. And in USA, the gross enrollment ratio in higher education is 60%. In developing countries, 36.5%. Even in BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, it is 21%. So you can imagine where is India in terms of the gross enrollment ratio of higher education. and how this dream of APJ Abdul Kalam to become a knowledge superpower by 2020 can be achieved.
In a detailed presentation, he demonstrated that India can effectively achieve the target of 30% gross enrollment ratio by the judicious use of ICT in higher education. Dr. Shahid said,
"The technology will probably help us to make best teachers available to students across the country, irrespective of their geographical location. Because 21st century is called the age of seamless education. Today we have students enrolling for education in universities outside the borders, in distance mode. They have access to quality of education irrespective of their location. And technology is removing the disparity between East and West, rich and poor, male and female, and also across castes and classes. Why I say so? That the technology and the ICT has almost made this globe a level playing field.
Principal Government Degree College, Kupwara, Professor Peer Muhammad Ashraf, appreciated and thanked EMMRC for conducting orientation program in their college.
मैं जुल्मतों से उलझ उलझ के वो दौर नजदीक ला रहा हूँ। मैं जुल्मतों से उलझ उलझ के वो दौर नजदीक ला रहा हूँ। मुसाफिरों की तलाश में जब नजूम के कारवां रहेंगे। Today's program was a fantastic program. It was a one-day program, an orientation program for our teachers and for you, the students, and for me to some extent. I am an old man now. The development of utilization of e-resources, most of you, I think about 100% students, were keen.
Others who spoke on the occasion include Dr. Chalku and Dr. Ganai. EMMRC also presented e-content DVDs to the Principal Degree College on the occasion. Allama Iqbal Library held a meeting under the chairmanship of Vice Chancellor Professor Talat Ahmed. The meeting was held to review the working of Allama Iqbal Library and its various allied units and divisions. During the meeting, various issues concerning the development of the library were discussed. Vice Chancellor Professor Talat Ahmed laid emphasis on making optimum and effective use of information technology in providing state-of-the-art services to the library users. Librarian Allama Iqbal Library, Dr. Abdul Majid Baba, told members about the various activities and services provided by the library for the students, scholars, and faculty members. Dr. Baba also highlighted the future plans of the library. That is all for today's program. To watch the latest episodes of Quest, log on to our website EMMRCKashmir.com. Send us your suggestions at our email address quest@EMMRCKashmir.com. Before I take your leave, here are a few words of wisdom. To generalize is to be an idiot. To particularize is the alone distinction of merit. That was all for today. See you in next episode. Till then, take good care of yourself. Khuda Hafiz.